another episode of It's Been Real.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, guys. I am Sarah.
And I'm Barry.
And, hold on, I feel a sneeze coming on. Hedgehog!
Whoa!
I got a new remodel.
I see that. Whoa, Sarah. Like, I didn't realize you were going to pull a 90s on me, like, with taking off that top hat and those glasses, and all of a sudden... Like,
I'm so hot!
I would never have known.
Yeah, well, you know, new year, new me.
And with that,
I decided that this episode, since it's one of the first episodes for the new year of 2021,
yeah,
we would look back on the dumpster fire that was 2020.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there has been a lot that we saw and so many that we regret seeing.
That's the thing. There was a lot, but there wasn't actually.
Yeah. Everything got pushed back to 2021, so we had to kind of entertain ourselves with some of like the indie darlings that came out this year. And it was interesting, for sure.
This is a hybrid of the best and the worst list.
Yes.
But again, unfortunately, we have a top 5 for both because again, we didn't see a lot.
No, we didn't. It was actually really hard for me because I made a list of everything that I saw this year, and a lot of it like overlapped with yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like trying to dig deep into like, okay, what did I see that I know Barry didn't see?
I mean, it's fair. Like, there's going to be some overlap because again, we see a lot of movies together, and stuff like. But also, like for me, when if we're going to start off with like our top 5 worst films of 2020. My list might be a little, like, different than most people, because, like, again, we didn't see, like, the very worst movies, like, so, like, you're not gonna see, like, the Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, God, no.
Or, like, you know, your Monster Hunters. It's like, for me, my list felt, like, I was very frugal of what we watched this year, because, you know, money's a little tight. So
yeah, just a little bit.
So, like, again, honestly, the films I saw felt very mundane compared to some of the worst films on Sarah's list.
Oh, yeah. And there is 2 exceptions on my list that I think are on yours.
Yep.
They technically came out in 2019 in limited release, but actually didn't hit full-on theaters until, like, very beginning of 2020.
Yeah, so we're counting.
We count them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you guys know...
You'll know as soon as I say them. You'll know. So let's start with the dumpster fires that was 2020.
Yeah,
and then move into, you know, the stuff that actually surprised us for this year.
Our top 5 worst films of 2020.
All right. My number 5 was Mulan. And this is me, like I don't have a bone to pick with the live action adaptations of the Disney movies.
I do.
But it just feels like after The Jungle Book came out, it all just kind of went downhill with it. Like Aladdin was okay, but piss on all of my childhood memories with Mulan. Like, they took out every good thing that I loved about Mulan and replaced it with mediocre things that just like, oh, we want to market to the Chinese audience, so we're just going to make it not a musical because that's not marketable in China. We're going to make it where instead of like historical accuracy of Mulan being her own woman and persevering with her smarts and intelligence and all this and that, no, we're just going to give her superpowers. And so it's just like
a Marvel movie.
Mystical. I fucking hated it. It was like mystical whatnot, but no, we couldn't have Mushu in it because that's too mystical. It's a talking dragon.
Yeah, I do like the fact that Mushu, 2 tops, like evil witch.
Yeah, why the fuck would you say no? We're not gonna. This movie angered me. Right?
I got that.
It angered me so much because talking dragon. That's pushing a line. But we're going to have a witch that turns into a bird that does all this other mystical, magical shit, but no Mushu. Okay.
Yeah, well...
I'm sorry. This is why it was, like, on my top 5 list. Like, my top 5 list, I couldn't rank it from best to worst in top 5. Like, it was just, like, what angered me the most is what I'm going to talk about first.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say that if this is if you're coming out this hot from number 5, I'm afraid for your list right now. Because, at the end of the day with Disney, literally, the chart says, hey, nostalgia plus remake a movie equals profit. And, that's what all these movies have been. I have not seen any of these movies, and I probably never will, because, again, I'm not the demographic for it. Like,
I know.
I was like, I don't have kids that I need to force this upon or whatever. Yeah. Or just like, so the fact that you watched it saved me like going, okay, I don't have to watch this now.
What was your number 5?
Yeah, my number 5, this might surprise people, is Cats.
That was your number 5?
That is my number 5.
What? You didn't like the fucking Lovecraftian hellfire that was Cats?
Again, yes. While Sarah's coming in very hot, whatever. Cats, everyone knows Cats is garbage. It is the epitome of, like, let's throw money in a dumpster and just watch it burn.
I think, like, didn't Lindsay Ellis do, like, an hour-long, like, video about, like, why is Cats a thing?
Oh, I'm sure. Like for me, like, I knew Cats was gonna be bad. You were gun-ho, we have to see this dumpster fire. We have to watch this. And I'm like, okay, so, like, for me, my expectations, I walked into them going, like, you know what, I'm gonna turn my brain off and watch it. Like, it is an experience. Yeah. You have to, people, I can't really recommend this to people, like, but it's just one of those things, like, you'll definitely remember this movie.
Oh, 100%.
But then, it was honestly, the jokingly said, like, this was the first film we saw in theaters in 2020. Like, yeah, like, this was the first one, like, we thought we were gonna start the year off with a bang.
No, we started off 2020 like it rightfully deserved.
Oh, unknowing what was become like we
it was the prophecy.
No, we opened Pandora's box and we stared into the abyss and we screamed and the abyss screamed right back at us.
Yeah.
It's only my number 5 because it didn't really anger me. It was just like, yeah, it's bad, but it's not like, why, oh god, oh why.
Well, now I'm just like rethinking what my number 4 was because I feel like Mulan was worse than this one.
Oh, well, it's a little late for that.
I know, it's a little late. I put Money Plane as my number 4.
Really?
Really.
Aww.
Like, it was cute, and especially with, like, McGillicuddy's character was really cute, but, like, the rest of the movie, like, it felt like I was just, like, trudging along, be like, okay, let's get to the next plot beat. Come on, let's get to the next fight scene. Come on, like, let's not have Edge do anything but just fly a goddamn plane kind of thing. I didn't like it. It wasn't what I wanted from a stupid movie called Money Plane.
Oh, no, I wholeheartedly agree. It's not on my list, but I get that. Because, again, the only problem it had was it was too boring.
Yes, it was too boring. What's your number 4?
My number 4 was The Happiest Season.
Yeah.
Again, one of these movies, like, in our last episode, in the Gauntlet, the Holiday Gauntlet, like, yeah. This movie angered certain people in the group. Me, not as much. Again, this is a bad movie, and like I hate it. Like not for like the subject matter, because like I hated this movie because it's a bad Christmas movie, and like it's very mediocre. And like for a movie that's supposed to be a rom-com, there weren't any jokes. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that movie.
Yeah, my number 3 was Cats. So the reason why it's more higher up on the list is because I've actually watched it a second time after watching the Broadway version of it. And it wasn't as... Okay, no, I take that back. It was just as bad, but I feel like this is one of those movies where you have to watch it with a certain audience in order to truly get what came out of it. Which was just like, we just need to roast the fuck out of this movie, and it's enjoyable after that.
No, like again, for like...
The music was okay. I still, like Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser's music is amazing, and I love that song, and Rum Tum Tuggers, like Jason Derulo has, like, redeemed himself in my eyes as, like, a singer, like, he can actually sing, but what the fuck was with that accent? And then just, like, I still get chills with Jennifer Hudson.
Okay, so it sounds like you're actually praising this movie instead of actually... But
no. Like, it's god-awful, and Tom Hooper needs to be taken out behind a barn and shot for this movie.
Wow!
Like,
okay.
He is a guy who can direct movies. He just can't direct musicals, or he doesn't understand, like, adapting a musical to a film needs to have a little bit more finesse to it. And so he's ruined not one but 2 musicals that really didn't need a movie adaptation to begin with.
But Oscars.
No!
Fair enough. My enjoyment from that film was just watching your face going, like, just in horror, slowly progress, like, oh no, I've made a huge mistake.
I've made a mistake here. And, like, I turned to you, I think at one point, I was like, why did you let me watch this?
Like, I tried to warn you.
You really did. And being me stubborn was like, no, I want to see cats.
I want to see the bad movie. Like, not realizing how bad it is.
This is worse than The Room. So what was your...
My number 3 irked me so was Netflix's Spenser Confidential.
The fuck is that? I've never even heard of that one.
Oh, it's a buddy cop action movie with Mark Wahlberg. Exactly. Marky Mark. Like, do you want to know a little bit?
Yes, let's know a little bit of this.
When two Boston officers are murdered, ex-cop Spenser teams up with his no-nonsense roommate, Hawk, played by Winston Duke, M'Baku.
Oh no.
Yeah,
now I kind of want to see it because M'Baku.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, they have to take down the criminal masterminds, and like this movie is so Boston. And this is a bad accent. I apologize to like any people from actual, but this movie like is like a caricature of what actual Boston is. And like,
Jesus,
this is directed by Peter Berg. It's like Peter Berg, like he keeps directing movies that, like, you know his, like, you may not know the name, but you know the movies he does because like they're all the movies that make Mark Wahlberg like the main character, the action hero, the based on a true story, like the Patriots Day, Deepwater Horizon, Lone Survivor. Why this movie's higher on my list is just like I'm tired of these Marky Mark movies. Like, I'm tired of him being an action hero. Like, because again, he's not good at it. This movie, it's like the whole thing is like he's an ex-cop. He's an ex-cop who went to jail because he was the only one that did the right thing, and like it was actually the bad cops that put him away, and it's him coming out of prison and him just wanting to. I'm retired. I'm no longer a detective. I'm like, they keep dragging him back in. He's just like, every time I keep walking away, they keep pulling me back in. This movie was just, you're supposed to like your main character. Yeah. And like the whole time, like, he's supposed to be one of the only good cops around, whatever. And like in this certain atmosphere we are currently in, it just feels like this movie has a bad case of the white savior.
Ooh.
Yeah. The whole movie is just like everyone hates Mark Wahlberg's guts. And
loves him at the same time.
No, that's exactly what it is. All in all, this movie is, it's very meh. Like I said, a lot of these movies on my list are very just down the middle, like serviceable. Like the fact that they sequel baited this for another one, because like I don't need a series of movies of just Marky Mark saving everybody and then saying hi to your mother for them.
Okay, well, let's move on to our number 2s.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 was the Happiest season.
I figured as much this would show up higher on your list.
Yeah, it showed up a little bit higher. If you saw the holiday special, you know why I fucking hate this movie. It has been about a month since we have seen it. Yeah, still no. I still have those hard feelings. And I talked to one of my coworkers at work about it because he had seen it as well and he's part of the community. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so what did you think about it? He goes, it wasn't that bad, but like I can see where your criticism comes from. I just thought it was just a bad movie just because it was mediocre. And I'm just like, yep. He totally agrees with what you said. Like it's about time the LGBT Q plus community has a mediocre Christmas film, and he died. He goes, that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly like welcome to the you get your own shitty movies now.
Yeah, like, it hit very close to home for me. So it was not enjoyable in any sense of the word. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 is another thing that I saw on Netflix. A very blasé movie. It's called The Outpost.
Feel like I know of this movie.
It is a based on a true story war movie.
Okay.
Starring,
definitely not what I thought.
Starring Scott Eastwood and Orlando Bloom.
Are you fucking telling me that there was a movie with those two Adonises and I didn't know about this?
Yeah, because it's with our current political climate, this movie just feels like it was trying to be Black Hawk Down. Ooh. Or like those movies like we were like it's very much the America fuck yeah, or like. Well,
I will say I hoped it wasn't Black Hawk Down because Orlando Bloom died in that one. Does he die in this one too?
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Oh no! Oh no!
I guess spoilers. Sorry.
Fuck!
But yeah, no. This movie is based on like after 9/11, there were military outposts that were not considered strategic
places.
Like places, yeah, literally put like a base at the bottom of a mountain ravine. So it's like literally it was like Taliban or people could shoot like RPGs down at them. Like it was literally, they were surrounded, like they had high ground around them. This was an actual thing that happened, and this movie is just about like the soldiers that fought through and took down the Taliban in America. Fuck yeah! And it's just like,
so it's kind of like Black Hawk Down meets The Alamo.
Well, yeah, like very much like that feeling, or like these movies, like these stories about like this happened in our lifetime. Like I understand these movies have a place, whatever, and like I don't know, it's just like the type of like just like showing off the military and being badasses and we're number one, and like it just falls short now. It feels very propaganda for me.
Yeah,
and the fact that this one's also just done poorly, I don't know, it just feels very stale and very formulaic and very just like unnecessary. I don't know, like I can go on forever and tangent like
yeah, you have a very long-winded explanation to be like, this movie was just a bad propaganda film and I didn't like it.
Thank you. Yes, that's what it is. It's like it just angered me on a personal level. Just like these kind of movies just don't need to exist anymore.
Okay, all right. So let's get to our number one worst movie of 2020. Drum roll, please. 365 Days. Yeah, this came out beginning of quarantine when people were horny as fuck because Netflix greenlit a softcore porn for their streaming site.
Yeah, pretty much just Netflix just had porn on.
They just had porn on. Like you didn't see dick, but you definitely saw boobs. And
isn't that all what everyone wants to see?
Yeah, I really, yeah, like so here's the thing, like I watched it by myself because I knew you didn't want to watch it.
Oh no.
You came in, I think, 5 minutes in and you went, oh fuck this, and walked, like turned around and walked back.
I wanted I was gonna humor this like I came in like just like
you came in during like a violent blowjob scene and you went nope.
That's all I need to see. Done. Just
I think at one point, like, because our curtains to our patio was open, in which like people from our apartment complex could see into our apartment, and I just went, I'm just gonna shut these off. I'm gonna just like make sure that no one can see into this apartment because I didn't realize it was gonna be this.
Yeah.
I just thought it was gonna be like a bad Polish version of 50 Shades. I mean, it kind of is.
It's very much that.
Very much. But then I ended up convincing Coder to watch it with me, and he had the same horrified reaction I did the first time.
So this one doesn't anger you, but it's definitely
just bad.
This is like the room
if you watch it with multiple people and the other multiple people know what they're getting into, it's enjoyable.
Doing a riff track kind of thing.
If you do it like a riff track kind of thing, it is an enjoyable movie, but you can't help but be like, okay, everyone's hand has to be above the belt kind of thing during certain scenes because it gets really graphic very quickly and it just becomes uncomfortable if you're watching it with other people that don't understand how graphic it gets.
So this is definitely not one of those things like this is not going to get cult status and like go see it like at like midnight.
Oh no, it will never be shown in theaters. They had like I still joke about this in when we play Among Us where I'm always like, are you a lost baby girl? It was like I had like a visceral reaction to any time he would say that.
I think the main problem you had with this was like the protagonist, like you're supposed to root for this guy.
I'm supposed to root for him,
and he's the biggest villain in the movie.
Yeah, no. Like I remember like you came to get like something to eat from the kitchen, and you just hear me like say very quietly to myself, I'm like, why are you so horrible but yet so hot?
And that's the lesson you get from 365. Like, as long as you're hot, it's okay.
No, like the one takeaway, the only positive I had with this movie, the soundtrack was decent.
Was it though?
It didn't blow me away. It wasn't like fucking Queen of the Damned kind of soundtrack, but 50% of the songs were okay.
Wasn't most of the songs sung by the dude that's the lead?
Yep.
And they were just bad, like, they just felt like bad Ricky Martin, like, impersonations.
Yep. And like I said, 50% of it was okay. And it's the 50% he didn't sing.
This movie is very, like, of the dumpster fire that is 2020. This is, like, the cherry on top, whatever.
Yeah. This was the raccoon that jumped in, smelling the burning food, and then got fucked himself.
Sure, that's an analogy. I am not photoshopping anything for that.
But yeah, like that was my number one.
Well, my number one's I'm sorry to disappoint because I can't beat that, whatever. So again, I didn't see that many bad movies, but like the number one movie that pisses me off the most was Vin Diesel's Bloodshot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I want to clarify, this movie's very meh. All these movies I've watched are very meh. This one, like, this was the last bad movie, this is the last movie I saw in theaters before lockdown, before quarantine, before, like, back in March, whenever, like, this was the last movie I got to see in theaters, and that infuriates me that I wasted my time watching a shitty Vin Diesel movie. Because I thought, like, hey, Last Witch Hunter, well, you know what you're gonna get with this movie. This movie, the concept is, it's just a bad comic book movie. It's based on a comic book from Valiant. Again, Valiant's not one of the not more known like Marvel or DC. Like in the last decade, they've had a great line of comic books, and like I highly recommend reading some of them. Like they have some great storylines, and one of their main one of the big draws is this character Bloodshot, is a guy who can just never die.
Okay.
And like it's like, I don't know. This movie felt like it came out in 2000, dated and cliche, and just there was comedy elements that did not hit. Like I don't know. Like there was clearly they're trying to like build do world building, like not a lot, but it was clearly they were trying to make their own MCU. They're trying to get all their characters from that comic book line to make their own movie, and this was the first standalone, and it falls very flat. The budget for this movie was probably not the highest, but like I thought Cats had bad CGI. This felt like just like PS2 graphics. And like there's like the climactic battle that like I could care less. It's just very this movie's very meh, and that's probably like, again, should it, like, if I had seen like any other list, like if I had an actual proper like top 5 or top 10 list, this probably would have been at the bottom of the market. But the fact that it was the last film I saw before theaters were closed, like and sadly enough, if you want like a good interpretation of Bloodshot, go on YouTube. The YouTube page Bad in the Sun, they did a whole like universe like comic book thing like with him in it, like with Jason David Frank, and he did such a better.
We'll link it in the description below, so that everyone can go.
I'm sorry, no offense to Vin Diesel, but like Tommy from freaking Power Rangers did a better version of you, man.
I love Tommy.
Like they did more with their budget than this thing. Like I'm gonna say it was probably like close to like $60 million or something like that.
Jesus Christ!
Like it's something ludicrously ridiculous, but like this movie is just
bad.
It's just a boring comic book movie, like pre-MCU comic book movie, and like I just like
it just wasn't enjoyable.
It's very dated. It feels dated, like we've been here before.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, at the end, like that is our top 5 worst films.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go into the best films that we've seen this year.
Yep. Top 5 best films of the year. Boop.
Yes. My number 5 was Palm Springs on Hulu.
Okay.
It's basically Groundhog's Day, but with Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. I loved it so much because we've seen the trend of Groundhog's Day. Like we saw it in like Happy Death Day and all that bullshit that has come out thus far. But like Palm Springs actually, like they took the idea and like they gave it an interesting twist to it, and they actually had like decent heart and emotion into it, that it didn't feel like it was paint by the numbers kind of stuff.
Okay.
And like the chemistry between the two main characters was like on. I loved it because I actually believed that they, like, when they hated each other, they actually hated each other. When they loved each other, like you could feel like that emotion, and like they weren't just like, oh, I guess we'll be like together now kind of thing. Like it didn't feel forced.
Okay.
I loved it.
That's a good way to start the list off.
Yeah.
For me, it was Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. Yes.
Was that the prequel to The Kingsman or no?
No, that's
that's a different one.
That's a different thing. No, this is like Guy Ritchie coming back to his roots, like British like crime boss films.
Okay.
Like your Lock, Stock, Smoking Barrels, your Snatch.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
That Guy Ritchie.
Oh, okay. I like that Guy Ritchie.
Again, like that's what I feel like in the last couple of decades or so. Like Guy Ritchie, like you know him from like your Sherlocks or like him doing Aladdin or something like that. Like this felt more like his old style, and like
I like his old style.
Again, like, I don't know, for me, I have a soft spot for, like, old, like, just, like, British crime thriller movies, whatever. Yeah. And, like, the fact that, like, you got Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, and, like, Hugh Grant being the most slimy character he's ever played, and it's amazing.
Hugh Grant can't play slimy. He's a bumbling idiot.
He's a bumbling idiot in this one, but he is he is the swarmiest, slimiest character in this movie, and it's great. And honestly, this was, again, one of the last good movies I saw in theaters before
the quarantine.
So, like, it was the last great one that I'm like, you know what? I got to enjoy him in the theater again, and it's not his best film, but it's it's better than Aladdin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so let's go with number 4. Mm-hmm. My number 4 was Love and Monsters. Okay. That was like our second episode that we ever did for this podcast.
That was also my number 4.
That was your number 4. Yay! We matched up.
Ding, 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 ding.
But no, like, I liked it because, like, I didn't know that it was coming out. And then when we watched it, I was smiling the whole time because I'm like, I actually like this movie. Like, this movie wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I like it.
Again, I was very on the fence about it because, again...
Because it's Dylan O'Brien in it.
Dylan O'Brien. Yes, Dylan O'Brien. Like, I knew that Sarah, she loves Dylan O'Brien. Yeah. Like, the fact that, like, I'm not a big fan of that demographic of acting or actors, whatever. But the fact, you know what? He surprised me. Like, I was like, okay... Second time I seen him acting, like, I'm like, you know what? He did a decent job. I don't know if we were thinking it was gonna be more of a horror movie or like a just like
adventure road trip movie.
But the fact that it was just like you get an old kaiju creature feature meets like a rom-com, and like it's a weird blend, but it worked.
It worked so well,
and that's why I like those kinds of films, like they stick with you because like they tried something different, and honestly, I think they succeeded. If they do a sequel, because like they sort of sequel bait you, whatever. You know what? I'm okay. I would love to more about this world, the lore, like like if it was one and done, that's fine. But like I'm honestly be like, oh, you know what? I'll be okay with seeing another movie in this world.
I could take like a trilogy in this world.
It's like I need more Michael Rooker.
Yes, please.
but yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about the movie, we'll also post our link in the description so that you can watch that episode if you haven't yet.
Yeah, you just check the episode out. It's fine.
Yeah, we have a lot more to talk about with that.
Oh yeah.
But number 3 for me, I switched it up a little bit because I realized we didn't have a lot of animated movies that we have seen this year on the list. Onward.
Huh, what do you know?
Like, we had watched it because we were gifted Disney Plus by a family member, and we love them so very much for it.
Thank you very much, for real. You know who you are. Thank you.
Yes. So, like, the first thing that we saw was, I was like, oh, we can finally see Onward!
Because that was one of the first movies, again, right when, like, the theater started shutting down. Like, Onward had just came out of theaters and then immediately was pulled out of theaters.
Yeah, this movie got robbed.
Robbed.
Like, for me, like, I feel like tiers of movies. So, like, you have your Frozens. But, like, Onward, I feel if this would have had a full-on theatrical release and, like, word of mouth for it, basically what it was, because, like, a lot of people talked about this movie, I feel like it would have surpassed Frozen. Maybe, because it wasn't a musical, so maybe not. But I feel like we would have been seeing a lot more Onward merch and things like that.
Maybe that, like, this felt like more like this felt like a love letter to actual, like, nerd culture.
Yes, because it was Dungeons and Dragons, but not Dungeons and Dragons.
Again, so like it feels like we were definitely the demographic for this movie. Like this felt like there would have been a lot more love for this in the convention circuit at like Comic Cons or like there would have been cosplayers would have loved this movie.
Oh yeah. Like I've already been planning out my cosplay for this.
Awesome.
But no, like I like the direction where the Disney animators are taking it, where like there is different types of love in the world other than the love for, you know, a significant other. Like there's like brotherly love, there's, you know, love for your grandparents, there's like familial love, which I think is really like something that a lot of Disney films really tend to miss out on a lot, because, you know, you kill off your parents halfway through the movie or like at the beginning of the movie.
Well, you know, shout out to Pixar for like literally like at the end of the day, these are family movies. Yeah. So like
of course we would want you to fall in love with your family and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, families coming closer together. Yeah. Like that's a real emotion. That's a real thing. Like
we didn't even make it like 30 minutes in this movie. We were already bawling. Like, we were crying.
You can't confirm that? You can't. There was
no evidence. Was ugly crying at this movie, and like to the point where like there's, I'm not gonna give it away, but like at one point, like I was texting certain family members and being like, I fucking love you, man.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is
I'm crying just thinking about it right now.
The best thing is, this is the Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon of movies.
Yeah, like
you will definitely be calling a parent and just telling them that you love them. Yeah. Moving on.
Our number 2. This one is going to be different because I know you didn't see this one.
Okay.
#Alive.
I did want to see this movie.
I know you did. I'm sorry. So this is a Korean film. And it is a Korean zombie film. It's kind of in the same vein as Train to Busan, but it is a Twitch streamer who is like at home during the zombie apocalypse, and he's just stuck in his apartment the whole time, and he has to #survive, and he's #alive.
AKA, like any one of my film friends, we have definitely written this script.
Oh, yeah, like it was so good, and like the Korean actress that is like the second character in this movie is played by Park Shin-yi. I probably said her name wrong, and I do apologize for that. She is in so many of my favorite Korean dramas on Netflix. So when I saw her in a movie, I went, yay, she's making it to movies! Oh my god! I was like, yes! I get to see her in so much more things!
Oh, okay.
It was enjoyable. Like the character design of the zombies is really cool. Like the way that they set up the in-world rules of zombies. Like that's one of the things that like for zombie movies, like we all know about the zombie movie cliches.
Everyone knows like the zombie tropes, the zombie like what's gonna happen in the zombie movie.
Yeah. So like I compared this to the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
That came out, where like in Dawn of the Dead, like they kind of set up like in-world rules for it without giving exposition too much. Like they kind of did it like with like newscasting and things like that,
which is a great way to do exposition.
And they kind of did that in #Alive as well, where like for a like week they had TV, and so like they were like the main character guy, he's like flipping through the TV and like he's getting news about like what's going on with the zombie outbreak, but they're not using the name zombies in it. And I was terrified of these zombies. Like there were some that like they knew how to open doors and like they knew how to climb shit, and you were like, and I was like, well, now I'm just terrified that this is actually going to happen.
So fun.
It was 2020, so it could have.
Yeah. Speaking of 2020, again, my number 2 film for my number 2 pick was Palm Springs.
Yay!
Because this movie, we needed this movie in 2020. This movie, like again, as you said, it's like Groundhog Day, whatever, but like
the same day
over and over again, and I don't know about a lot of you guys who are stuck at home, whatever, but like it kind of like this year has felt
like that.
It has felt very much like that. So you truly believe these characters and how they like how would you act? We had our fun times at the beginning, and then we got together and then got serious, and then you realize the existential dread that the year's still going. It's only July.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh boy. So like I like Andy Samberg, like the fact that this is his most toned down version of, it's like, it's nice to see like his acting chops. Like, don't get me wrong, Andy's always been great. Like his acting's always been like, it's like this is the most like real performance I've gotten out. Like he's just very toned down, very like it's weird seeing him as the straight man in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, there are goofy shenanigans in this movie.
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
Like I said, like this movie just felt like the movie we like deserved. And, like for a comedy that's going on in 2020, this is the film for it. Like, and shout out again to Kristen Milioti, the mom from How I Met Your Mother, or whatever. Like, she's, anytime I see her in a film,
it's
like
enjoyable.
She's just great, and she was a great foil and a great like scene partner with Andy Samberg. Like the two of them, like you felt that dynamic, and she has comedy chops. I want to see more of her like in movies and just the setting and everything. Like all in all, like we've already talked about. Like again, I can't highly recommend this movie higher. Because it just resonated with me more. Like that's why I think it's higher on my list, because it just, I felt this.
Yeah.
Before we talk about our number one movie, we have some honorable mentions. We didn't have enough movies on our list to make a top 10 list, but we still had some movies that I would recommend to go see.
Yes.
So, did you have a few that you would recommend?
I had two that I really recommend. One we had actually reviewed on this podcast. The other one we didn't.
Okay.
I really do recommend watching Enola Holmes on Netflix. I thought it was a really cute and adorable film, and it was very well written. And then, not to get too into it, I liked Birds of Prey.
Oh no!
And the Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, no, Birds of Prey got such a it was shaft when it came to crap for bad reviews. I don't know why. It was a fun movie. It was just a fun movie.
It put up a battle to be in my top 5 for a few weeks actually. It was just middle ground. It didn't make my top 5. It was probably 6 or 7 on my list. It was good. It was funny. It sure as fuck was better than Suicide Squad that preceded it.
Oh yeah, no, this movie deserves so much better praise than they got.
Yeah.
For me, a couple of Netflix, again, while I bashed a couple of Netflix movies, the ones I did enjoy, they were just they weren't, I wouldn't consider them top tier movies. They were just really, it was just fun, good popcorn movies. Charlize Theron's The Old Guard was a great, I recommend it. That's a way to do a comic book movie that's a movie from a comic book universe that no one knows about and do it properly. Like Bloodshot, and the other one was Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. It's a fun Jason Bourne-esque kind of film, that kind of genre feel to it. It's just it shows that this was a good year for action movies. I feel And another honorable mention for me, I think we both because again it was one of those last movies we saw together in theaters. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. The only reason why it didn't make any of my lists, it felt very formulaic.
It's a kids movie.
So of course it had to be formulaic.
When it comes to video game movies, like video game adaptation movies, it was nice to see a movie that was just all right, this was cute, this was fun. I'm sure they're gonna make sequels. It made money.
Yeah, we were joking about them, because I had made a joke that the Oscars has rules as to what can be nominated and what can't. And one of the things was that in the Oscars, your movie has to be in theaters for a certain amount of time. And I was like, wait, if all the theaters are closed down, that means Sonic the Hedgehog might win Best Picture.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the Oscars, the Academy was like, oh, no, we're going to change it for this year. And I went, you do not fucking change it.
Sonic better not get snubbed at the Oscars. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, I think we share the same number 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, this was one of the... Cats was the first exception for... It came out in 2019, but technically didn't reach wider audiences until 2020. This is the second exception. 1917.
Yep.
Oh, I've only watched this movie once, and I can remember so much of it. It was not a forgettable film.
Oh yeah, no. Jokingly said, the first film we saw in 2020 was Cats. The palate cleanser that we went to see, the next film we saw was this movie. So we went from Cats to 1917.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that might give us an audience some idea of what our palate cleansers are.
I'm saying, you go from Cats to groundbreaking cinema. I'm sorry, this movie, it set the year.
Well, so I didn't realize. So I saw the trailers for it, and I knew I was gonna like it because it was I think it was a World War I movie, which you don't see a lot of World War I movies. You see a lot of World War II.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the fact that it was a World War I movie, I was like, fuck yeah. When we sat down in theaters and we actually started watching it, I turned to you and I went, is this all in one shot? This is all filmed in one shot? And you went, yep. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking love this. Within 5 minutes, I knew this was gonna be my favorite movie of this year.
Again, no, like you said, this movie is just cinematically
it was beautiful.
Just a beautiful freaking film. Just from the cinematic side of things, it's it just checked all the boxes.
Yeah, it calmed down where it needed to calm down, and it amped up the tension and the
entire time. It's the tension it's just slow burn the entire time, and it just built a crescendo, and it hits every beat perfectly.
Yeah.
You felt you are in like in a war-torn like scenario, like trying to get to the front line. Like,
did we watch this in IMAX? I'm pretty sure we did.
We did. Like, this was like
it was made for IMAX. I feel like a lot of people who watch it at home aren't gonna get the full-on experience that they should. And I hate movies that do that, where it's like, no, you need to see it in theaters in order to get, like, the full experience of the movie. It's like, I hate movies like that. But no, with this one, no, you need, because, like, IMAX makes you feel like you are in the movie with the characters.
Oh, yeah, no, there are certain, like, again, there are certain movies, like, I totally agree, like, it is a cinematic experience, like, and the fact that we got to see it in cinema, like, I'm super thankful for that, again, we've only seen it once, and it's still,
like, when we made up the idea for what was going to be our top, like, 10, or, like, our top 5 for this year, I just went, well, 1917 is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, it's been, like, almost a full year since we've seen it. And I still love it. Oh yeah, like again, it's like it is directed great, the writing's great, the acting's great, like just like the whole movie just feels real. Yes. It's like the best way I describe it is like people will study this like 10 years from now. If you go to film school or like I said, like they will use this as an example of how to make for cinematography or something like that. Yes, 110%. Ooh, just there's so much about this movie that was just so good, and like the cameos that were made in it, it was just so good. I mean, honestly, like this is probably gonna like it's a weird genre again because like we already talked about it in my worst list, like the war film genre. Like this would probably be my favorite war film. Yeah. Like, well, like the thing was is like with this movie, it didn't feel like propaganda. It felt like we were telling like an actual story like, of like it felt like it might have been like with the details that they had. Like, was this a true story is the question. Yeah. Because, like, it felt like it was based off of a true story or something. You think that because you felt real and the characters felt real. Whatever. Yeah. Like, but the fact that, like, the setting was real. So, like, I don't know if, like, again, I haven't done enough looking into, like, if this was an actual real story. The battle they were going to was a real battle. So, like, this is a movie that I see. Everyone needs to see this movie at least once. Yes. Totally agree with you on that. And so I think that is going to be it for this episode. We've talked a lot. This might be the longest episode we have. Possibly. It's almost 2 episodes in one. Oh, fuck. Yeah. So before we wrap up, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that bell icon to get the notifications. And write a comment down below. What do you think of our list? Did you agree? Do you disagree? Are there any that you think that we kind of snubbed? Either on purpose or unintentionally, let us know. Do you think we shouldn't have brought cats on this? If not, please write a very thorough actually statement down below because we look forward to those. Yes. But again, Sarah, where can they find us? You can find me on Twitter at Scriptworthy. I am thinking for the year of 2021, I am going to start Twitch streaming. And it's probably going to be under the same handle. I'll flag it or I'll bring it up more if I actually set it up. Okay. And again, as always, you can find me on Twitter at FilmBuff89. Yes. We got some great things coming up this year, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Like, hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot better. Yes, a lot more kinder to us. We got like I said, we got some more episodes with Coder, the Codex coming up pretty soon. Yes, and probably our next review. It's gonna be pretty fun. Dare I say, it's gonna be excellent. God, you are horrible. I know. And as always, it's been real, guys. Bye, guys. Take care. Yup.